So we're going to start with meditation, and we're going to meditate on the chakra systems, and look at the chakra systems. And I don't teach it like other teachers teach it. So if you've heard it before and if you've learnt it before, then I'm aware that the way that I teach it is differently. And you've got to take away from it what works for you. So if you like the other system, go with that. I'm not trying to teach you a system and say this one is right. You've got to find what's right for you and what you feel. So basically, to me, what the chakra system is simply the emotional energy body. So the chakra system is the emotional body. So when I was releasing my emotions and exploring my body, I learnt about the different areas in the body from investigating what my feelings were. So say if I was angry, I wouldn't just be angry and follow my thoughts and say, just be, oh, somebody's done this or somebody's done that, and think it's just thoughts, it's not true. I would follow those thoughts back to where I felt it in the body. And I would see what was in my body. And I often felt there was a lot more going on in my body than what my mind was saying. So my mind, my thinking process, might be in hatred and anger, but my feeling body might be in actually vulnerability and fear. And so what I'm going to teach you in the morning sessions is to become more aware of what your body is saying to you. And you've got to make up your mind, and you've got to explore how your feelings work. That's not something that I can dictate to you, because everybody is different. The more that I work with people, the more I find that everyone has their unique system. So if it's different from what you've been taught before, just see which one works best for you and work with that. So if you shut your eyes, and just make yourself super comfortable. So you have something, a functioning. So just like your legs function and walk, you also have this functioning of personal awareness. Now, personal awareness is different from consciousness. It's different from the big consciousness, from wholeness or that big perceiver. This personal awareness is the ability to move the lens, the ability to move your focus. So you can put your personal awareness now in your big toe. You can put it in your fingertip. You can put it in your nose. You can put it on your breathing. And you can put it on the outside world. You can put it on the sound of my voice. So in this meditation, we're going to be working with the personal awareness, but be aware that there is something that's aware of the movement of that personal awareness. There is this consciousness that knows the personal awareness, that never moves, that perceives and is always there and isn't any effort. It's never any effort to be conscious. And the personal awareness is seen by that consciousness. And the personal awareness often thinks it can see the consciousness, but actually the personal awareness is being seen by the consciousness. But now we're just going to work with the personal awareness. Also notice that you think that you've got free will over the personal awareness, whereas actually the personal awareness is happening, and you don't know how it's happening, and you don't know how you're moving your attention, but it's happening. And it comes with the story that I choose to do that. But that's not actually the reality, it's a functioning. I say put your personal awareness on your big toe, and it either happens or it doesn't happen. And it's nothing to do with free will. It's a functioning, like the breathing, like the heartbeat, like the sky, like the sound of the birds, the sound of the fire. So now I just want you to put your personal awareness on the breathing. I'm sorry, Harold. Sorry. So just feel your breath go in through your nostrils and right into your diaphragm. And just feel how nice that is. So you might notice that your attention doesn't stay on the breath, it begins to go on thinking, often on thinking about what you've done, where you're going to go, what you're going to do in the future. Notice that your thinking is always about past and future. And your breath is right here. So now as you breathe, I just want you to imagine that you're breathing into your whole body. So just put your attention into the tip of your toes, the tip of your fingers, the top of your head. And just know that there's nothing that you can do that's wrong. So if you're getting into any ideas that you're doing it wrong, or you don't understand, or that I'm speaking too fast, that everyone else is doing it better than you, just catch that for what it is. See that you're having thoughts, and that underneath your feeling is vulnerability. And see it's not true. You're right here. You're free. You're this. So if your mind is racing, just accept it. On some level, accept that that's what's happening. And there's no judgment about that. So just feel your body. As you breathe in, put the attention all around the body. So we're going to start off with the first chakra point, the base chakra, and just be aware that these are the main chakra areas in the body, but it also, there's other ones all around the body. But these are just the main centers of the feeling points. So you might also feel the emotion in your foot or in your hand or in your shoulders, but these are the main areas of them. So the first chakra, the base chakra, is just below the genitals and just below the base of the spine. And sometimes we can't feel energy there or anything there. To me, this area is sexuality and love. And the love and the sexuality are very interconnected. Like they're kind of the same thing. The sexuality is love, really. But you have to explore what's true for you there, in that chakra area. A lot of people, from my experience, find this area is numb. They feel like they can't feel it. And my theory about that is because you've been shamed about your sexuality, and you feel like you're not allowed to feel sexual in public situations. You can't be having dinner with your parents and having sexual energy come up. And I think that's unnatural, not to have the sexual energy towards your parents, but to keep restricting it, to tell yourself when it's appropriate to have it and when it's not. Your body will have it when it has it. And there's no shame in it. And it's actually love. This creative, loving energy. And to me, the energy moves up in your body. So you have that energy and that love moves up through your body to the top of your head. Again, this is different for other people. But this is just something for you to work on to get to know your body. And just know that on this retreat, you're welcome to put your attention there as much as you like. There is no shame in feeling sexually aroused. This is human. It's not appropriate to act out your sexual arousal and to make other people feel uncomfortable with it, but there's nothing wrong with feeling it. There's nothing bad or wrong about you if you feel sexual arousal. Even if it comes when you're sitting watching pigs eat their dinner. I'm not meaning pigs as humans, but pigs, really literal pink, clumpy pigs. This is human. This is what happens to us. We are these bizarre creatures. And you have to accept this about yourself. You have to be prepared to accept this about yourself. If you don't accept this about yourself, that you can feel sexually aroused in all types of situations, then it means that you can hold a superiority over other humans, which doesn't benefit you. It doesn't benefit you to be sexually superior that actually cages you and makes you feel uncomfortable. To be totally comfortable with your sexuality is what benefits you. And that means that sexual arousal will come at any time. And you're allowed to be and feel that. And the sexual arousal, if it stops being about trying to obtain the object, so if you have sexual arousal for someone or something, if you stop trying to obtain it and just appreciate its beauty for what it is, then the energy turns into love. If the sexual energy is about getting, then it's almost a little painful. It's pleasurable but painful. If you see that you can have that and you don't have to have something, you don't have to have an orgasm or have an interaction, then you'll begin to feel that it's love. Such love. So in my interpretation of what enlightenment is really not being enlightened. Enlightened is this energetic shift from being someone to seeing that you aren't someone, that you're this infinite presence on one side, and on the other side it's being fully human. Which doesn't mean necessarily being morally correct, peaceful, non-proud, non-egotistical. It doesn't mean all those things. It means being human. And the human is sexual. The human can be proud. The human can be grumpy and non-peaceful. It can be all these things. To me, on the human side, being enlightened is more like being a child. That childlikeness of not being ashamed of who you are, of embracing it all. And we can attempt and strive as humans, as a group, to try to be socially considerate and not be mean to people, but the priority is actually being yourself. And that will actually be the most ethical thing to be, is yourself. So let's move on to the next chakra point. So the next chakra point is your belly. It's that nice plumpy bit of the belly, just below the belly button. Now this, to me, this area is spaciousness in balance, connectedness, groundedness, stability. And when it's out of balance isn't wrong, it's just my way of defining it. Like, we all have out of balance chakras. That's the way we're meant to be. We're meant to feel negative emotions. The problem is they often become strongly out of balance because we're identified with them and trying not to feel them. There's absolutely nothing wrong with feeling any of the negative emotions in the chakra. You know, you're meant to feel fear if a lion is running towards you, trying to eat you. It's appropriate to run away in fear. It's not an appropriate time to be peaceful or to be sexual. But you never know, it might be sexuality that arises. So the out of balance in this one is fear, anxiety, maybe worry. So just put your attention there. And whatever it is, whether it's expanded and peaceful or contracted and tight, just allow it to be as it is. And just trust this process. But now it might feel confusing, but after 7 days of doing this, it will become more and more clear. And understanding your body is such a gift on the human level. You'll understand what you want easier. You'll understand what you don't want. You'll be able to communicate with people better. And you'll begin to see how much you overuse your mind, your thinking mind. That you have so much more intelligence and information in other areas of your body. They're these amazing instruments. And just to be focused on the thinking mind is very limiting. So now we're going to move up to the solar plexus. And this is just at the point of the rib cage, so at the bottom of the rib cage, but at the point where they meet. So you know that triangle place at the bottom, and then there's that point. This is the solar plexus. To me, this area is empowerment, is pride, is the feeling you can do something, it's strength. Out of balance, it's the feeling you can't do something, that you're a failure, that you have no strength, so that life is impossible and life is stuck. This to me is the area of depression, when you have depression. And when it's positive, in the positive, it's the area of activity and action. It's a very powerful point. Yesterday when we were in the group, there was the talk from one of the participants about not being proud of something, that proud was ego. Being proud was ego. And I don't necessarily believe that. I think being proud is human. Other animals experience pride, and they certainly aren't separate. If you think about the gorilla, the silverback gorilla, he is incredibly proud of his pack. Yeah, when he hits his chest, it's so beautiful. He sticks his chest out, very proud animal. Dogs can be very proud. When you walk your dog, and your dog is walking next to you, so you've trained your dog to heel, to walk by your ankle. Often the dog is so proud to do this. I sit and I watch dogs. Yesterday or the day before, I was on the beachfront watching lots of people walk their dogs, and these proud dogs strutting by their human. How proud they are, and we all see that as pride. Like their tail up in the air, their chest out, their ears back, and they strut along. I know Khaleesi is incredibly proud to walk with me. So I don't see these emotions as egotistical, I see them as human. This is being human. And you can spend your whole life trying not to be that, and I think that you'll never succeed. I think that you'll end up suppressing it and end up turning it into depressive feelings of feeling shame. Like a new parent or grandparent They're so proud. They want to talk and show the pictures. How can this be egotistical? Like, how can this be something that causes separation? It's not something that causes separation. It's human. You are allowed to show off. Think of the birds, the male birds that create nests for the female birds. And they do these dances for the female birds and pull out all their feathers. Not pull them out, but they puff up all their feathers to show off to the female bird. This is not suffering or separation. This is being animal. This is beautiful. We love watching it in swans, in animals, in dogs, in gorillas. And then with us, we're like, bad, bad, pas bien, bad. It's not bad at all. You can sit here and you can feel super proud that you're investigating your sense of self. It's beautiful that you do this. And just notice that area change as you allow that to come in. And see how this area is about suppression of that. And that suppression of it makes you exhausted. You're allowed to be beautiful. You're allowed to wear nice things. You're allowed to shine. You're allowed to be proud of your children, your grandchildren, your dogs, your cats, your body. But be aware, if you show off too much, you'll irritate people around you. And when you show off too much, you're likely to fall down. Like to say but that's not to say don't do it, that's just part of it. That's life. Like the proud bird is showing off for the female bird, and it's all puffed up and it's all proud, and then suddenly it trips off the branch and falls out of the tree. This is what happens. But the bird doesn't feel... It might feel a moment of embarrassment and like brushing itself down, and then boom, it's back on the tree, popping out its chest, proud as can be. I'm back. So now we're going to move to the next area. And that's of the heart. Now, I'm sure all of you know what the heart is in positive. The heart in positive is love. Ramana Maharshi used to say that the first place in which presence comes into being is in the left side of the heart, and it's love. I don't really have an opinion on that. There's a big argument in the non-dual scene as to whether the I am is a manifested quality of love or whether it's no quality. I know that the I am is love, but I don't know if that's a quality or not. How would you know that? It seems like the question, does the chicken come first or the egg come first? So this is love. Out of balance, it can feel not loved, not in the group, not involved in the group. Sadness, rejection, not good enough, lower than. And in balance, it's love. And again, all these feelings are appropriate at times to realize if you're annoying the group or if you've upset people in the group. We're not to brag all the time. These feelings are all appropriate, but the reason why we get stuck in these feelings is because of the identification with these feelings. You believe that's who you are. So just put your attention there. Just really allow whatever's there to be there. So now we're going to move on to the throat area. And this area to me is about communication, being able to express yourself. And out of balance, it's not being able to express yourself and not being able to communicate. That can sometimes be connected to wants, being able to say what you want. And sometimes out of balance, it's about not being able to say what you want, not being able to express yourself. Again, it's not always about having it in balance. Sometimes you can't express yourself and it's not appropriate. But the reason the energy gets stuck there is the identification with it. That you believe that's who you are. Unconsciously, that is you. And that's not who you are. You're this consciousness in which it all appears. So now we move on to the third eye, which is just above your frown. So this is your third eye. And to me, the third eye is the ability to think, the ability to imagine, the ability to talk to people about time, the ability to empathize and connect with other people. From my experience, people are often stuck in this chakra. Their attention solely rests on this chakra, and they're not aware of the other ones, just this one. Out of balance, it can be neurotic thinking, inability to empathize, or think about other people's perspective. Tension, compulsive behavior. Then we've got the top chakra. This is on top of your head. And this is the connection to something bigger than yourself. Out of balance, it feels dead and numb and closed. In balance, it feels expanded and connected. So we're coming to the end of the meditation now. So if you just follow your breath in and just let it flow all the way through your body and into the outside world. And you can begin to open your eyes and see all the amazing, beautiful people around you. And this amazing environment we find ourselves in.